Okay, tubes, we pretty much did the welding and the grinding and everything. What we started to do here is to go ahead and remove the paint where we think we're going to end up having the Bondo, like right up here on this seam all the way down, and slowly blending it in. Also up here, we're pretty sure we're going to be feathering this over here into this edge, and the same thing up here on this windshield. Now if you remember, before, the cable, when it went through the cable barrier, it also skipped across here. So we know we're going to have to put body filler up in here. And this part right here was pretty good. The little rubber channel that was in there that holds that trim piece off with double-sided tape, we went ahead and pulled that out, and we'll protect all this up in here and on the inside, so when we put the body filler in, it doesn't really affect too much on the inside here. You got to remember that, I don't know if you guys can see it in the film, but there's like two different shades of metal here. One has a corrosion preventative treatment on it, which is this, and the other is just bare metal from when we were grinding off. So if you have paint and you have a good adhesion and corrosion preventative underneath the paint, you want to leave that. You only want to remove what you have to remove. You don't want to remove a whole lot. Okay, so anyways, I'm back under the shade tarp here. It's not that hot out, it's only in the 80s. So and then we have a nice breeze too, which is nice. But anyways, so back on this, what we'll probably do is we'll start up in there and we'll work our way back here and get this all smoothed out, and then we'll come up in here and blend this, and then we'll come back down this way and go down there and smooth this out. I had to actually knock this in a little bit with a hardboard and a mallet. Let me show them to you. Here they are. I just put this up against here, made sure it was flat, and then just gently tapped it until it was about the right blending. And then I also went down here a little bit and tried to blend this in better, and it worked out pretty good, I think. And just a hammer, and you don't tap very hard, you just barely tap on it. So far I think it's going along pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the corrosion preventative, which is the vinegar, clean it off with some alcohol, and then wash it off with some real mild soap and water. So, and as far as the vinegar, you can use just about any vinegar on it. It does the same thing. Alright, I forgot to show you the tools we used. So here's what we used. We just used a little finish sander with some 80 grit and some, what was it, 200 grit? 80 and 200 grit? Was that what? 80 and 100 grit. And we used a wire wheel. And we also used a Harbor Freight a sanding disc. It's designed to go on some kind of angle grinder or something. And we didn't have one, so I just made an arbor. That's on the video how I made one using a lathe. So, alright guys, that's pretty much it. We're going to get back to it. Chit chat with you later. Alright, we've already put on the vinegar and everything. You see it's got kind of a golden sheen to it. And that's where it's been etched. So, and then what we're doing now is we're neutralizing the vinegar in it by just applying fresh water on it. So, and that'll help stop the etching. And it sits on here for, oh, I forgot how long we put it on there for, 15 minutes, something like that. And then, so anyways, it's got kind of a chemical conversion on it, I guess you could say, now with the vinegar. And then we'll let it air dry for another 15 minutes. Alright, now that we've dried it off, we're going to go ahead and hit it with some vinegar and water again, just a little bit, and just barely rub it like this. All we're trying to do here is get rid of the little orange discoloration. You don't have to get rid of all of it, just got to get rid of most of it. And then when we get done with that, we'll wipe it off, and then we'll let it air dry. And then what we'll do is we'll come back and we'll hit it with some fresh water to kill any of the remaining vinegar that's in it. And then once we get done with that, then we'll probably hit it with some alcohol again. There we go. And you could actually notice the difference between bare metal that's been sanded and ground and metal that's had been etched with anti-corrosion on it. So we'll get all this here too. All right, now let me get my towel here. We'll wipe off the orange that's been removed primarily by the scrubbing, the second scrubbing. There we go. Alrighty. Now let me get the rest of this and then I'll show it to you. Alright, I went ahead and I've used my Scotch-Brite and vinegar again, and I've wiped it down with that and got all the orange off. Now I'm just going to go ahead and use just regular clean water on it and a paper towel. Doesn't have to be any special paper towel, just paper towel. Oh, sorry about that. Got hung up on the tart. There we go. All we're doing now is just killing the vinegar to make sure it stops etching the metal. And then we'll just dry it real quick. And we'll, there we go. Now we're gonna let it air dry. Let's get all of this underneath. There we go. Now we'll let it air dry and then we'll hit it with some alcohol. And you can actually see the difference between what it looked like before when it was kind of like polished metal, and now it's got kind of a dull satin to it. Well, that's the etchant. That's the vinegar that is etched into the metal and kind of hardened it against corrosion itself. So let's let this air dry and then we'll hit it with some alcohol. All right, we'd actually let it air dry for about 20 minutes, and what we're doing is we're making sure that any water that's trapped in these holes evaporates, you know, from the welding, etc. So now what we're going to do is we're going to wipe off any remaining oil or dirt or grease or anything left over, including water, because the alcohol will blend with the water, and as the alcohol evaporates, any minute water that's stuck in these cracks, it'll evaporate out. So, and we're just going to use 91 proof alcohol. You can use something like that. Just get your rag and soak it up really good and just wipe it down. That's all you got to do. There we go. There we go. Whoops. Got to get under there. Up in here too. And then when you're done, when you're done wiping, etc., you shouldn't have anything on it, on your rag. So you just keep doing it until there's nothing left on your rag. That little red is from this, from the junkyard markings. Oops, sorry, missed it there. Underneath here too. There we go. And that one's a lot better. So let's fold this over here. A little bit of more alcohol on it. And we're going to go ahead and wipe it down again. So any Bondo or paint or anything that you want to put on here now should easily adhere to this now without having to worry about any oil or dirt or any contaminations or anything like that getting in the paint and hurting it. And, oh, I dropped it. There we go. There's a little bit left on it. I could probably do one more just to be safe. There we go. It looks like the only thing left is maybe some of that red stuff there. See, there might have been a little bit of dirt left down here we forgot to clean earlier. Yeah, there's a little bit down there, but that's on the bottom. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Okay, so that's it. All we have to do now is put some Bondo on. And I don't know if we're going to film any more today. I know you've seen me do Bondo before, but we'll see what happens. If I do it, I'll include it in the film. If not, well, thanks for watching, and God bless y'all. Keith Nunny out. Bye.